Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, sit tight because what I'm about to tell you is a game changer, not only for the Giants, but for the entire AFC West, and in a broader sense, the entire NFL landscape. It's one of those moves that makes you sit back and think, wow, things are really heating up this offseason. We're talking about the recent and quite surprising trade involving Evan Neal, one of the Giants' most promising young tackles. Yes, Neal, the player drafted in 2022, a second-round pick, a guy with a lot of upside, now heading to the Denver Broncos in exchange for a third-round pick in 2026. This move has sent shockwaves through the league, especially among Giants fans who have been watching Neal develop since he was drafted. Evan Neal, for those who might not follow every detail, is a 6'7" offensive tackle with immense power and potential. Coming out of Alabama, Neal was seen as a top-tier prospect, and many analysts believed he could be a cornerstone for the Giants' offensive line for years to come. His rookie season was somewhat tumultuous, with some injuries and inconsistencies, but overall, Neal showed flashes of what he could become, especially with his size and athleticism. In 2025, he's been a solid contributor with a PFF grade of 86. 7 in 6 games, and he's improved his pass blocking significantly. Neal has allowed only 3 sacks this year, a notable improvement, and his run-blocking grade sits comfortably at 84.9. He's a player with upside, no doubt about that, and a guy who can anchor an offensive line if given the right environment and coaching. Well, that's where it gets interesting. The Giants, after a 2-4 start, are making some strategic moves to reshape their roster, especially on the offensive line. They're focusing on building a younger, more dynamic front, and by trading Neal, they're opening up cap space, around $10 million, to address their needs elsewhere. One of those needs is wide receiver depth, particularly after the injury to Neighbors, which has left the Giants a bit thin at that position. They're also looking to prioritize extensions for their key offensive players, like wide receiver Davante Adams, who's projected to hit a hefty $28 million cap hit. So it's a calculated move for the Giants, focusing on managing their cap and building around Daniel Jones, trying to keep him protected and giving him more weapons. But let's talk about the other side of this trade, the Denver Broncos. The Broncos, who are currently sitting at a 3-3 record under head coach Sean Payton and quarterback Bo Nix, are clearly in a rebuild mode, but not a complete rebuild. They're making strategic moves to upgrade their offensive line, which has been a concern for them, especially after injuries. Neal's arrival is expected to give their protection a significant boost, and the projections are optimistic. They're hoping Neal will help increase their clean pocket percentage, which is crucial for Bo Nix to operate effectively. The Broncos are also trying to improve their run game, with Javonte Williams performing well when healthy, and Neal's addition should help in that department as well. Now, Neal's impact on the Broncos' offense could be substantial. If he performs up to expectations, he could boost the team's overall efficiency, especially in pass protection. The numbers suggest that Neal is a player capable of elevating the line's performance, with a projected 82% rate of clean pockets in 2025, an increase from previous seasons, and a significant reduction in sacks allowed. Plus, Neal's physical presence and power mirror some of the best tackles in the league, like Jawaan Taylor, who has been a boost for the Kansas City Chiefs' own offensive line. Neal's size and athleticism make him a perfect fit for the Broncos' scheme, and with him anchoring one side of the line, Denver could see a boost in their offensive efficiency, especially in pass protection, which is vital for Nix to succeed. And that's not all. Neal's addition could also have ripple effects on the Broncos' defense. They're aiming to be more aggressive, and with better protection, Nix can extend plays and find his receivers longer, giving the defense more time to create pressure and turnovers. Considering the Broncos' defense has been solid but needs some consistency, Neal's presence could be the missing piece that helps them turn into a top-tier unit. The team is also hoping Neal's addition can help reduce their sacks allowed from their current rate of 3-1 per game, which is crucial in a division stacked with talented pass rushers. Now, talking about the broader picture, The trade also impacts the odds for the Super Bowl. The Broncos, who were initially at plus 11, 0 odds to win it all, are now seen as having a better shot, with their odds dropping to around plus 500. That's a significant shift, and it speaks to the belief that Neal's move to Denver could be a catalyst for a deep playoff run. Neal's ability to block effectively and extend plays in the postseason, especially in the playoffs where protecting the quarterback becomes even more critical, could be a real X-factor. If Neal continues to develop and help solidify the line, Denver's chances of making a serious push toward the Super Bowl improve dramatically. The AFC West is already competitive, with the Chiefs and Chargers looking formidable, but with Neal anchoring the Broncos' line, Denver might just have found the piece they needed to challenge those top-tier teams. But let's not forget the Giants' perspective in all this. They're taking a risk, no doubt about it. Moving Neal away from the team means they're banking on their young offensive line, with Joshua Miles stepping in as a potential starter, especially at left tackle. Miles has been decent, with a PFF grade of 81. But he's unproven as a full-time starter, and that exposes Daniel Jones to more pressure. The Giants are clearly prioritizing their long-term rebuild, focusing on accumulating draft capital and developing a young core. They've been building through the draft, especially on defense, but now they're taking a gamble on their offensive line, trusting that their younger players can step up and that they can manage the cap constraints better this way. This move also signals a shift in how the Giants view their current roster. They're not afraid to make bold decisions if it means positioning themselves better for the future. The NFL is a league of attrition, and managing cap space while developing young talent is often the key to sustained success. Neal's trade might hurt their immediate protection, but it could pay off down the line if those draft picks translate into impactful players, and if their cap flexibility allows them to sign key free agents or extend their current stars. And let's talk a little about what this means for the fans. Giants fans have seen their team struggle at times this season, especially on offense and in protecting Daniel Jones. There's been a lot of frustration, but also hope that these moves will pay off in the long run. Watching Neal grow and develop in Denver will be bittersweet for many, but at the same time, it's exciting because it shows how aggressive the Giants are willing to be to get back to the top. They're building for a future where their offensive line is more resilient, more dynamic, and capable of protecting their franchise quarterback for years to come. Meanwhile, Denver fans are probably feeling a mix of optimism and cautiousness. Neal's talent is undeniable, and if he adapts well, they could see a transformation in their offense. It's a move that could elevate their Super Bowl odds, especially if their defense continues to perform at a high level and Knicks keeps improving. The AFC West is shaping up to be an even more competitive division, with all teams making strategic moves, but the Neal trade might turn out to be the piece that pushes Denver over the edge. Now, wrapping this all up, what does it mean for the Giants moving forward? Well, it's clear they're betting on their young talent to develop and on their draft capital to bring in future stars. They're also trying to balance their salary cap while remaining competitive, which is no small feat in today's NFL. The Neal trade is a bold statement of intent, showing that they're not just rebuilding for the sake of it, they want to be competitive again, and they're willing to make tough moves to get there. And the Broncos, they're betting on Neal's upside to anchor their line and help Knicks thrive. If Neal can replicate some of the success he's shown in college and early in his NFL career, they could see a leap in offensive efficiency, which often translates into wins. Their improved offensive line could make their attack more balanced, allowing them to run the ball better, extend drives, and give their defense more rest, all crucial ingredients for a deep playoff run. So in the grand scheme of things, this trade is more than just a swap of players. It's a statement about how both teams are approaching their current seasons and future prospects. The Giants are taking a calculated risk to build a more sustainable, cap-friendly roster with young talent, while the Broncos are pushing all in on their offensive line, aiming for immediate improvements that could translate into postseason success. It's a fascinating chess match, and I can tell you that fans of both teams will be glued to every game, watching to see how these moves pay off. And as we look ahead, it's worth noting that Neal's presence in Denver might just be the X-factor in their quest for a Super Bowl. With a better offensive line, Bo Nix could flourish even more, and the defense, which is already solid, could become even more disruptive. Neal's ability to block effectively in the playoffs, where every sack and pressure matters, makes him a valuable asset. If he can help reduce sacks allowed and create more time for Nix to find his playmakers, the Broncos' Super Bowl odds could climb significantly. That's why this move is so intriguing. It's a gamble that could pay off big time. So whether you're a Giants fan feeling a bit down about losing Neal or a Broncos supporter excited about their new offensive weapon, one thing's clear. This trade has shaken up the league and changed the narrative for both teams. It's a reminder of how dynamic and unpredictable the NFL can be, especially during the offseason. The Giants are betting on their young core and draft strategy, while the Broncos are all in on Neal, hoping he can be the cornerstone of their offensive line for years to come. And that's what makes this league so exciting, the constant chess match, the strategic moves, and the potential for everything to change in an instant. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest New York Giants news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Now fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this bold move? Are you excited about Neal's departure from the Giants, or do you think this is a mistake? Do you believe the Giants are making the right call by focusing on their rebuild, or do you think they should have tried to keep Neal for the long haul? And for Broncos fans, are you feeling optimistic about your offensive line now? Can Neal truly be the missing piece that gets your team back into the Super Bowl conversation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Giants community. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, more insights, and all the latest news about your favorite team. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and as always, let's go Giants.